still get pills. I'm aiming for weeks, so I'm aiming to kill. Set up in the men's, don't give a fuck, you can still get drilled. All I wanna do is crush that porn. My niggas them told me make peace before you go to war. I said fuck that, I wanna drill now and then drill some more. Smoke my man in the face, yeah that point got scored. Couldn't give a toss about law. Niggas no CP. More time if it was done by the 7, it was done by me. I ride for my G's, put my heart on the streets. So if you see me, that's not on my teeth. So chat tough and I'm spinning round. Ask the ops how that spin the sounds. When I spin the bangs, try and know that's a nigga down. And where I'm from, we always know to keep things around. All the risks that the team be taking. That's why my nigga Nero's money.
Salute all. If we got in the house. Mo Boxing, salute to you, bro. If you want to get on, Mo, you're more than welcome. Not a problem. Will Magic Man, salute to you. Hope you're good out there, brother. Just want to do a live. Oh, salute Flower. Hope you're good, sweetheart. Hope you're good. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just put yes, because my computer's keeps flickering, so I don't know what's going on, but hey, we've got to crack into it. Right, let's talk about number one. I've wrote some things down, just playing catch up on here because I haven't been on here for a while, so I want to talk about the Carlos Takam versus Joe Joyce fight, which was last Saturday. I'm watching whilst listening. Yeah, no worries, Mo. Loud and clear. All right, so yeah, salute to you. Nice one, Mo. Cheers. Yeah, just quickly talking about the Carlos Takam and Joe Joyce fight last week. For me, I wasn't really that impressed with Joe Joyce. He did enough to get the job done. I always knew he was going to beat Takam. Don't get me wrong, Takam's an all right fighter, and he can cause a lot of people problems, should I say. But for me, Joe caught too many right hands off Takam. He needs to tighten up that defence. I know he's blessed with a granite chin. But if he's going up the ladder fighting different opposition, because I think he needs to start, fighting better fighters now. But yeah, he was a good win. For me, Joe Joyce, I think he's a problem for a lot of heavyweights. Yeah, he's slow, but he's got an effective style. I was listening to, I was reading today an interview what Tony Bellew did on him, calling him the human Terminator or something like that. John Wilson, salute to you, brother. I hope you're good out there. Hope you're good, John. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, so for me, what was I saying? Oh, Tony Bellew was saying, yeah, he's a problem for a lot of these heavyweights. He was saying Fury and Joshua, obviously because he wears fighters down by, like he's got that terminal. I see you. Yeah, salute to you, Flower. Hope you're good, Queen. Yeah, I just think, for me, yeah, he's a big problem because he's got a granite chin. He's got a fantastic engine, and the boy can punch as well. Salute to you. But he needs to tighten up that defence. That defence was poor last week, but you can't always have a granite chin, especially when you're fighting someone who can bang. Not that Takam can't hit, but he can't hit like Wilder or Joshua. Someone like that. I would like to see him fight now. For me, Joe Joyce, I think he needs to go and fight someone like Andy Ruiz or someone like that. I'll salute to you, Queen. But yeah, he got the job done. I mean, I don't know if any of you lots are what's well put. So I'll salute to you, Will. Chisora's too expensive. Shame that. I'd love that fight. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard a few people will say this week that Chisora. I mean, I was going back into this morning with some guy on Facebook saying that he doesn't think that Chisora. He thinks that Chisora would beat Joyce, and I said, "You fucking tripping, man! No fucking way on earth would Doubt Chisora beat fucking Joe Joyce. No chance. No fucking way." Um, and I said, I think he'd beat Dillian White. I honestly do. I think even if he didn't, I think it'd be a fucking great fight. That they should make that fight. That is a great fight. I think he's. I don't know, man. I think he's a problem. Joyce is as hard as a metal. Exactly, Mo. Yeah, as a metal post. Exactly. He's a problem, but people don't give him the credit, because he's slow and he hasn't got the best defense. But when you're banging away all like Bellew was saying, 6, 7 rounds at someone and you're hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink, and he's still stood there in front of you, and he's still throwing these punches down on you. You know that in itself is heartbreaking, because you're thinking to yourself, what have I got to do to get this guy up out of here? So for me, I think he's a problem. But I want to see him fight someone like Joseph Parker or someone like that. Andy Ruiz. Don't get me wrong, that's a great fight. Great fight. Andy Ruiz, great counter puncher, fast hands. The boy can punch as well. I think Joe now needs to step up this game now. Because I think he's gone as far as he can go with the lower tier heavyweights. You know. Me personally, I don't want to see him fight Doubt Chisora, because I think he'd wipe the floor with Doubt Chisora. I think he'd stop him. I think he would stop him. Um, People forget that Joe come net as well. So it was an all round good result, but I wasn't impressed with his defence. Thank you for tonight's sponsors, Heineken. Thank you very much, Heineken. No, I'm joking. Uh, here, exactly, Will. There you go. There's another good name he should be fighting. Hergovich, Michael Hunter, someone like that. They're the next level fighters he should be fighting. Joseph Parker. And if he could take out two of them or something. Did you like that, Flower? Sponsored by Heineken, yeah. Nice Saturday night. I only drink at weekends, so this helps calm my nerves a little bit. I only drink at weekends, so stuff it, man. It's Saturday night. Yeah, so I was impressed with it, but not the best I've seen him. I think best performance I've ever seen him was against Daniel Dubois. Yeah, you like it. Right, moving on from that then. So I want to talk quickly about Luke Campbell retiring. Me personally, a bit disappointed, because I think Luke still had something left, but I did. Joe's already beat Philip Pergovic in the amateurs. Oh, I didn't know that, Mo. Did he? Oh, fair play. I didn't know that. I know he lost to Usyk in the amateurs, but I didn't know he'd already beat Erkovic. I mean, I need to restock. What, on the Heineken, Flower? I've got plenty in my fridge, plenty of it. I've still got 4 cans left over from last week. Mr. Johnson, you dusty ass nigga, how's it going, Mike? If you want to get on, you're more than welcome. I didn't send you a link, so I thought you probably had a game or you had football practice. But if you want to jump on, mate, just put yeah or no, and I'll shoot you a link. Or anyone who wants to get on, you're more than welcome. But yeah, going back to Luke Campbell, a little bit disappointed. I think he still had something left to show. But I did read his interview, what he did with Sky yesterday, and he's 33, saying, he's still got all his health, and he's going to focus on his kids and his family. So he blesses the Lord that he's come out all right, unscathed. He's made his money. He was very unlucky against Linares. Um, Me personally, I think he just edged that fight against Linares, but he was unlucky. He had a great fight with Lomachenko. You know, for me, he put the blueprint out to get to Lomachenko as well. Uh, what's more, but that was just amateurs. Pros is a different level altogether. Yes, oh yeah, damn right, Mo, it is. Damn right, brother. Yes, most definite. Like you say, it's like training, isn't it? You know, in training camp when you're sparring, it's completely different to being in the ring with someone. You know, some fighters can get beat up in sparring, and then when they actually get in the ring, they do the business. So yeah, I totally agree with you there. But I mean, Mo, what do you think? Do you think Luke still had something to give, or do you think he did the right thing pulling out now? Fucking itchy head. What do you think, bro? I think he still had something left. I think Joker beat Sergovic in the amateurs too. I think Joker beat Hergovic in the amateurs too. What about Joyce versus Joker? Yeah, yeah, that's a good fight as well. Well, that's what I mean. Will there's so many good fights out there for him to to move on to now. I don't excuse me. I don't want to see him fighting all these like how can I explain it? You know, like the last of the gate men, like Derek Chisora. I'm not being horrible. I'm not. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not being horrible. But I'm fucking sick of seeing Derek Chisora. I like Derek. I think he's a fucking good guy. Oh, young Merv the Cut Man, salute to you, brother. Salute to you. I hope you're good out there. Oh, thanks for popping through. Yeah, for me, yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. For me, I'm sick and tired of seeing Derek Chisora. I can't be fucking dealing with the guy now. He's starting. Do you know when some people just don't know when to leave it alone? You've got 11 losses on your record, and now they're in talks of making another fight with Joseph Parker. Who who really gives a fuck about Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora? Because I know I don't. Not one flipping bit. Mo's put a great decision from Luke. He gave his all Olympic. Yeah, exactly, Mo. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think he could have gone on and maybe had another good fight, but fair play to the lads. You know, from a young lad from Hull, he didn't he didn't achieve a world title, but he came close from a little town in Hull. He did well. The lad did well. You know, he won Olympic gold medal. He won a Commonwealth title. I'm not sure if he won a British title. I'm not sure, but I know he come unlucky against Linares and Lomachenko. For me, people give him shit over that Ryan Garcia shot to the body, but for me, I think don't get me wrong, I'm not a big Ryan Garcia fan, but credit where credit due. For me, that was a fucking beautiful body shot. It was right in the fucking kidneys. Not many fighters are getting up off that. It was a cracking shot, so I don't give him shit for that. You know, I've seen people say, "Oh, he quit," but I sat here and watched that on my laptop, and when he got cracked with it, I fucking made me even queasy. I was like, I felt that, and it was all the way over there in America. Um, Will Magic Man's put, by the way, I'm sponsored by Bell's tonight. Bell, oh, you don't drink that shit, do you? Bell's whiskey. Oh no, fuck that shit off, Will. Go and get yourself some decent whiskey like Glenfiddich or something. Don't be drinking that nasty ass shit. John Wilson's put facts. What about John? Probably on about Chisori. Will's put Bell's whiskey. That is. Oh no, can't drink that. Will, you've got to have a cast iron stomach for drink that shit, man. Yeah, but if you're on about Doubt Chisora, John, yeah, sick to fucking god and back teeth for seeing him. I like Derek. I do like the guy, but fucking hell, no one wants to watch someone who's got 11 losses and still fighting. And they just, you know, you're making your career worse in my eyes because you're dragging it out now. You've lost that many times. Just fucking call it a day. There's other things you can go and do. I once spoke to Watcher about this. Watcher said if he's not careful, he could end up being seriously hurt and talking a bit like a cabbage. Um, because I think some fighters just don't know when to let it go. I know it's hard when you've been fighting all your life, but Derek, please, man, just go and sit down. Right, moving on from that, we spoke about Luke Campbell. Right, let's talk. I've written some things down, but let's talk about this Caleb Plant and Canelo. I don't know what's gone on because I haven't really had my head in the boxing world this week and last week. I've just seen a few things that it's broke down and I never read about it because I didn't think it was going to happen. Because last I heard was a couple of weeks ago was Caleb Plant was holding out for $10 million, was it, or something like that. Now, if someone could help me in the chat, what did it break down over? Was it money, or was it because I did see a channel say Caleb Plant ducks Canelo, and I didn't even bother click on it, but I don't know if it was over money or what. But I did do a video about 2 months ago where Eddie Hearn was kept mentioning Bivol and Arthur Peterviev. If Caleb Plant fight doesn't go ahead, but for me, I've never thought anything special of Bivol. I'm not being horrible. Some people do. For me, I've never thought anything. I think he's a good fighter. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's anything special about him. I think Canelo would, even at what I was reading earlier, he's going down to 168 to make the fight, or he's on about going down to 168. For me, I think Canelo beats him all day. Peterviev, on the other hand, if he goes up to 175 and fights Peterviev, I think that's a good fight. I don't think that'll go the distance. Um, I think for me, I'd have to just swing it in Canelo's fate. I don't know. It's if Canelo can take Peterviev's or Better Beef, whatever you want to call him, if he can take that power. Because I mean, he's a ferocious puncher. But for me, Peterviev, he's getting on now. He's like 35, is he? 36, somewhere around there. He doesn't fight very much. He's quite inactive, and he's got a little bit of a suspect chin. You know, he's been put on his arse before, but I think it was Callum Johnson or Callum, one or two. Callum Johnson, I think it was, put him down. And he's not got the best defence, but saying that at the same time, I watched the fight when he fought Volsteak. Volsteak was hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink, and it just bounced off him. So I don't know. I'd be interested in that. I would like to see that fight with any of them two, but me personally, I think he wipes the floor with Bivol Canelo. I just don't see Bivol doing anything against Canelo. Can't argue about the bells being crap, so I just grabbed a Johnny Walker Black. I hope it meets your requirement. What's a Johnny Walker? I've not heard of that. Johnny Walker. What's that, Will? Is that whiskey? I don't know. Oh, Volts. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Salute, Losdy. You're rep, bro. So yeah, salute to you, Volts. Mo's put Canelo trainer Eddie Renazio says after 175 he'll move up to cruiserweight. Well, if that's true, Mo. How far can he go? To be honest, I don't think there's anything at cruiserweight, is there? I don't know. I just don't. Never watched cruiserweight since Usyk left there. John Wilson's put you was getting well, I'm going to come to that, John. I'm going to come to that. That's one of my topics. What I will be coming to next, so I'll bring that up in a minute, bro. Ricky, salute to you, bro. He's put Loz, what's up? I want to see Canelo versus David Benavidez. Yes, I think David has the best chance to beat Canelo. That's a cracking fight. Salute to you, Ricky. That's a cracking fight, bro. That is a cracking fight. I'll bring that up in a minute, John. We'll talk about EJ in a minute, bro. But just quickly wrap up about Canal. Yeah, I believe so. I'm with you there all the way. I think Benavidez has got the best chance. He's a fucking big unit as well, isn't he, Benavidez? And the boy can hit as well. That's a cracking fight, that. Even the Charlo fight at one. If I think Charlo would be best staying at 160, is he? And yeah, no, what's Charlo? He's not super middle, is he? He's middleweight. I can't flipping remember. My head's going round in circles. DT, salute to you, bro. Hope you're good out there. Boxing is on its head at the moment. Everything hustling with each other. Yeah, I know that's true, Volts. Yeah, but back to that's true. That is, brother. David Benavidez. That's a cracking fight. Love to see that. And I'd love to see the Charlo fight. Andrew 100. Salute to you, bro. 160. 160. Yeah, that's it. I've seen you about, so I'm going to give you a wrench. Because I've seen you about, bro, before. Salute to you, brother. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I think that's a cracking fight. I think Charlo would be better. Me personally, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Would you prefer see Charlo go up to 168 and fight Canelo, or do you think he's better staying at 160 if Canelo was going to move down to 160? Me personally, I think Charlo would be better at 160 fighting him. That's just my point of view. Will Magic Man's put Loz Johnny Walker Black is a beautiful 12-year-old Scotch whiskey. About 29 quid a bottle in supermarket. Oh, right. Yeah, salute to you then, bro. Yeah, that's Glenfiddich style, that will. Most put depends on Benavidez. Will and Drive. John Wilson's put Demetrius Andre doesn't have a chance to give Canelo Alvarez problems. Well, funny you should say that, John. After I watched the Boo Boo's last fight against the lad from Wales, I mean, don't get me wrong, he outshined the lad from Wales. He had him rocking in the first round and stuff, but he took his foot off in the gas. He took his foot off the gas towards the later rounds, and I just think, yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you there. Even though I really do like Boo Boo, but I think, I think you're right. Canelo can fight, man. I know he's done a bit of ducking and diving and shit like this, but you have to hand it. The boy can fight, man. I'm not a massive fan of him myself, you know. I don't like the way how he jumps up and down the leagues and fucking shit like that. Just stay in a league and fight the best, and then if you become undisputed, move up and so on and so on and so on. I don't like that up and down shit. It does me head in. Most put Canelo is not going down. Yeah, well, so Charlo would have to go up, but Charlo said he isn't willing to go up. So I believe. I'm sure he said he wasn't going to go up. Volts put Benavidez will take shots to land them like his style. Excuse me. Yeah, I think so. Canelo at 160 now would be a red flag. What do you mean by that? Do you mean what, like as in struggling to get down to 160? Or do you think he wipes them all out? I don't understand what you mean there, Volts. Most, but if anything, he's going up to 175. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand that. We was just on about. Oh, Flower, salute to you, Queen. I'm just on about Mo. What would you, if you wanted to see him fight? I'm just saying, what would you rather see him do? Go down or to 160, or Charlo go up to 168? Yes, Loz, exactly. What do you mean though, Volt? So I'm confused. What you mean? Do you mean like wipe them all out at 160 or struggling? Stormy, salute to you, bro. What's this? A live sighting of my Joe Joyce. Stormy, if you won't get on, you're welcome, bro. Salute to you, brother. We was just chopping it up before about him. Mickey Dub, salute to you, brother. Thanks for coming through. Yes, we told them, Stormy, ain't it? But they don't listen to us about Joe Joyce. He's the best. He should be at a 175 fighter. Yeah, I think he beats Bivol. I think Canelo would wipe the floor with Bivol. And and on art, I think he'd beat Peterviev. I don't think he'd knock him out, but I think he'd go on points. Give me a minute. All right, I'll send it anyway, and you just get on whenever you want, Stormy. I'm chopped it up with Stormy for fucking ages, for a long, long time. Just one sec, just let me, and I'll read the chat. Send this to Stormy, and then we'll talk about the Pacquiao and Errol Spence fight later on today. Well, tonight over here. Volts has put weight cut loss, as you said. I can't see. Yeah. I think so now. I think he's gone past that. Volts, DT, the main man. Salute to you, brother. So yeah, right then. Because John was asking what do we talk. We can always come back once Stormy gets in. We can always come back to talking about Canelo. And I want to chop it up with Stormy about Joe Joyce because Stormy is a believer like me. I said years ago, you comb through my archives over 12 when Joe Joyce was to fight Daniel Bois back in 2000 and when did I move in here? 19. Back in 2019, before Christmas 2019, I did a video and it's still up on my archives now. I told everyone that Joe Joyce was going to beat him, and the only person who believed me was Stormy, and no one else. I did many a live stream, and everyone said no chance, no chance. And then, obviously, because of Corona and all that shit, it got postponed for a year. And I still made the same. I made another video and told everyone he beat Daniel Dubois, and I still got criticised. But the old boy did it, and he did it with a simple, effective jab. Because I always stated Daniel Dubois struggles with his head movement. I think he's a good puncher. The guy can punch. He's not got bad footwork. But man, that boy's got no head movement and no body movement. He was a sitting target for Joyce. Volts put, yeah, I remember. Yeah, right. You know that Volts. It's up on my library if you want to go check them out. Most put Charlos, Andres, they need to go up to 160 as soon as possible before Canelo leaves 168. Canelo will probably call it a day in 5 years. Yeah, probably. I think he wants wherever he goes now. He wants to become undisputed. He's trying his best to do what Mayweather never did. I'm sure Mayweather never became undisputed. Andrew 100's put a fight between Canelo and David Benavidez is a 50-50 fight. I would lean towards Canelo on points. David Benavidez is a dangerous fighter, but he lacks footwork and defense. Yeah, I'd have to agree there, but I can't speak on his defense and because I've not really seen a lot. I've not really seen a lot of David Benavidez fights, and on art, I haven't. But I've seen a couple of his clips. I watched the fight where he did that mad combination on that kid where I can't even remember who he was fighting. He was fighting someone a couple of years back, and he hit him with about a fucking 10 or a 12-piece combination dead fast like that, and then knocked the kid straight out. I was like, wow, that was. And I saw the two brothers. He fought one on Darrell brothers. Is he? I saw that fight. Most put doing a solo, bro. Yeah. That's what I never do. That's why I'm a bit nervous, Mo, because it's been that long since I've done a solo live stream on my own. I normally have people on the panel, Volts put mad thing is Canelo is younger than Andrade and Charlo, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I know Canelo's been around a long, long time. A long time. No boxing, he's on fire. Oh, salute. Thank you. Right, then, let's talk about. Come on, then, let's get into. Where is the. I like to put pictures up, but. Let's talk about this fight then. Spence versus Pacquiao. Let's talk about it. Honestly, mate, you're doing good. Thanks, Mo. Much appreciated, brother. That goes a long way. That much appreciated. Right, let's talk about it then. For me, personally, I think that's a beatdown. I think it's a beatdown from Spence. I really do. Don't don't get me wrong. Pacquiao's been a fucking tremendous fighter. I I like Pacquiao. I always have. I think he's been a great fighter. He's been a great ambassador to the sports. I think. Now, whether or not he's juiced or not, I don't know. That's a different thing. But talking about him as a fighter, I work where I work. The cleaner at our place on the site where I work, she's a Filipino woman, and she absolutely loves him. He can't do no wrong. But for me, Pacquiao's been a good fighter, but I just don't see. I don't see. Maybe he might have stood a chance if he'd have been more active. Am I true to believe that he's never fought since Keith Thurman? Not to my knowledge, which was a few years back. I don't know, but he's not been active enough for me. And plus, he's getting on now. I mean, you can never write a fighter off because there's always that one punch, that puncher's chance. But for me, and do you know what, John Wilson? Salute to you, bro. I'm going to talk about that, about Porter. I'm going to talk about him and Bud. I'll get into that because I want to speak on that as well. So thanks for seeing Porter's name. For me, I just don't see. I just that jumping in and out like the OG says, like KQ says. It ain't gonna work with Spence. He's gonna get clocked. I just don't see it. I can't see him. It takes a special man to take them body shots and that pressure from Spence. Spence is a lot younger fighter. I did see your live, or was it your video, Mo? What you did the other day about someone putting up the videos of him getting work in the gym. Apparently, he's getting beat up. And what I saw, what you did, Mo, what even on the video, that to me didn't look like he was getting any work. He just looked normal to me. He was just having a good bit of a dusty up with his sparring partner. But for me, nah. I think Pacquiao's going to get flatlined. I think he's going to get beat up big time. I'm going and do you know what? I think it's going to be that much of a beating. I think I'm going to put. I'm going to say Errol Spence round six stoppage, round six, round seven stoppage. That's what I think. I could be wrong. He might get beat. I'm going to read the chat in a minute, but I just don't see. I really don't see. But fair play to Pacquiao though. I know it's a money bag and all that, but at least he ain't pissing around doing these stupid fucking exhibition fights like Floyd. You know, for me, that's ruining. Well, don't know if it's ruining your career, but I don't want to be seeing that shit. I don't want KSI and fucking Paul Logan and all that bollocks. I don't want to see. Let me read this chat quick. I have EJ winning eighth round stoppage. Yeah, I say round six, round seven, John. So I'll agree with you there. Will speaking to Mo. They're playing Sweet Caroline on Eddie's back garden, lol. That fucking song, it's irritating as fuck, man. John Wilson put, he's talking, Sean Porter wasn't, he's talking to Volts. Volts has put, that is Johnny. He's talking to Thingy, John Wilson. I'm sparring footage was bogus. Yeah. Well, even when I watched Mo's video or what Mo did on it, and I just thought, what a load of bollocks. I wasn't fucking interested. He is the OG. What's popping, Stormy? You all right, bro?
Yo, what's good with you, Laws? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, brother. You? I just get rid of these stupid banners. Yeah, I'm good,
Doing
bro. Are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's good to see you back on the airwaves because I I'll be looking for you. I'm like, where you at? So
Oh,
I'm glad
appreciate
to see
that.
you doing the live today, man.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, I think sometimes, Stormy, what it is with me, I'm that busy, mate. Honestly, with work and shit, what's going on in my life at the moment, mate. I just I've taken my foot off this YouTube thing at the moment, but I'll always be doing something. But I need to start getting around a lot of more channels because I don't know, Stormy. I think I've been zipping in and out of channels and doing it that long now. I think sometimes I need I just wanted to have a bit of a little break. You know what I mean, bro? But
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
yeah,
But
I
just
mean,
just know that you got a base of supporters out here, you
yeah, I
know,
appreciate that.
and people like myself, I always enjoy your content and coming on and sharing and collaborating with you.
Oh,
So, just know that it's all positive when it's coming from me. And salute to the people that was shouting me out in the chat. But I was
yeah.
trying to get my laptop, turned on and everything. So, but yeah, man, our
I
boy
appreciate.
Joy Joyce, man, it's like these people sleeping on him, man. Why don't you wake them up, Laws? Wake
Yes,
them
sir.
up.
Let me turn my computer up once I hear the OG speak. Right, Stormy, because I
Good.
will sit back to a few of the fights. Just quickly, let me read the chat before we get in on him.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
John Wilson saying, salute Stormy. Andrew 100's put, respect to Pacquiao. He is one of the greats, but Errol Spence would beat the brakes off Pacquiao. Errol's body, Errol's body shot is effective pressure would be too much. Agreed 100. 100 with you, Andrew 100. Mo's put 35 minutes. Great solo work, Loss. Salute to you, Mo. Appreciate that, brother. John's speaking to Volts. Mo's put salute Stormy B, the sensei. Um, and then Volts has put could be 18 months before we see Errol and Bud. But he's talking to John. Sorry, gassy off this beer. Right, OG. Let me give you my thoughts quickly then, and I want to hear your thoughts. I've been watching your live streams, Stormy. Tyrone, salute to you, bro. If you want to get on, you're more than welcome, Ty. Just let me know, bro, and I'll shoot you a link. Ty's, but I think Pacquiao wins a close decision. Oh, right, fair dues. No, he's put sorry, Spence. Right, Stormy. Go on then, bro. Let's hear what you got to say about him. Go on, I'll let you go first because you've been waiting.
Well, no, Joe Joyce,
Yeah,
he has for this era of heavyweights, he has a great opportunity to become a world champion because, again, between he, Wilder, and Joshua, the
yeah,
three of them have medals. And check it out. AJ has a gold, uh, Joyce has a silver, and Wilder has a bronze.
yeah,
You see?
yeah,
And Joyce is the only one who has yet to get the title shot. But I do believe, regardless of who he may get in there with, he has a greater chance to become a world champion as anyone because his foundation is in boxing, regardless of people thinking that he's slow and all of this. And I've made the analogies between the big giant monster movies like Godzilla or whatever. When they move, they always show the monsters moving in slow motion
yeah, yeah,
because that's representative of their size and mass. If you saw the Avengers movie where Ant-Man was in there and he turned into Giant Man, he
yeah,
started moving really slow as Giant Man, but it wasn't that he was moving slow, it was because of his massive size. He was covering more space,
yeah,
but at a speed that looks like it's slower. You can make the same analogy for Joe Joyce because he's a massive guy at 6'6" and 250 pounds. but he's very agile, okay? And he has a quickness, not speed, but a quickness. And understand that timing can beat speed when you're in there and you're an experienced fighter. So Joe Joyce is definitely reflective of that. If he was so slow, why are his opponents not getting out of the way of his shots?
Excellent point. Excellent
You
point.
see? And he knows how to cut off the ring. He could take a good shot. And it's not that he's out there trying to take shots. It's just that he happens to be that type of individual. He can absorb it. You know, a lot of guys can dish it out, but a lot of guys can't take it. Like, let's use AJ as an example. AJ can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Yeah.
You have to have both or a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? To really make it. Otherwise, you're always in a position to be upset. So I said this about Joyce, even against Wilder, he'll be dangerous because he can box with Wilder. He can stick that jab out. He knows how to cut the ring off. And if Wilder can't get him out there with a single shot, that means he will have to put them together, right?
Yeah.
But standing in there, you give Joyce a chance to get you too. You see? And listen, with a massive guy like him, that's not a Tyson Fury. That's a heavyweight plotter. And someone said this in my live stream when I was talking about Joyce. I forget who it was, and forgive me if the person's out there listening right now or whatever, but they said that, it was a Copper Aborigines on my call-in show. He said Joyce reminds him of George Foreman.
I've said that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And see, that right there is something that you have to pay attention to. Because George Foreman, when he was a younger man, he did the same thing that Joyce does. You could stick George with a couple of shots, and it didn't matter. He kept coming. Even Ali was sticking him with shots, and it took him 8 rounds to get George tired and winded and everything because he wasn't conditioned to go beyond a few rounds. And the fight with Ali was very grueling. But he learned from that. Even when he come back in his second career, George could go 12 easy. Even if you're punishing him, he could go because he could absorb it. Does that remind you of Joe Joyce? And Joe Joyce ain't 40 years old like George was, but there's a tremendous similarity there. And people need to wake up, man. When you know boxing, you look at boxing from the inside out. You don't look at it from the outside in.
Yeah. Do you know what, Stormy? Well, this is what I mean, bro. This is me and you've been saying this for well over 18 months, you know, and people laughed at us, didn't we? I remember sitting here being in a live stream with you, Mike, Watcher, Tyrone, fucking about Mo. I think Mo might have been there. There was a fair few of us, and I think there was only me and you who were saying that he's got. He's got an engine. What can you hear me, Stormy?
Yeah, you froze up for a minute on my end. I'm sorry.
Cool, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when he's got an engine, what can do 12 rounds easy, like you say. Because I was arguing with some guy the other week. He was saying, "Oh, he gasses," and I was like, "You need go Specsavers, sir, because I don't know what flipping Joe Joyce fight you've been watching, because I've never seen Joe Joyce gas, never." He's more than capable of doing 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Like you say, he's effective. He wears you down. The boy can hit. He's got a granite chin. He's a force to be reckoned with. Tony Bell, you said today, Stormy, that he's a problem for these top fighters. He said the same thing. It's on his interviews on TalkSports.
Absolutely.
He said,
and you know,
my bad. Go on, Stormy.
Joyce has a great personality.
Mm.
Ironically, like the second George Foreman, the older George that came back out of retirement. He was very jovial and pleasant with people, and he engaged people with him. Joe Joyce, if you were to sit down and have a conversation with him, you can't even tell he's a fighter, a professional fighter. He's just always seemingly happy and stuff. He's like got a real, he's not a big bad surly dude. It's like he's pleasant, and that's very marketable. I'm telling you, he needs to come over to the US and start fighting some American fighters because I believe he can beat a lot of guys. But it would be beneficial for him for people to get to know who he is. Because I'm telling you, if he gets in there against one of these champions and defeats them, people are going to be like, well, who is that guy? I don't know nothing about him. That's why he needs to do that. Not because just leave the UK. It's about becoming now a more of a global commodity because he's already beaten Bryant Jennings, Bermain Stavern, and guys like that. He's beat Dubois, who was the young upcoming guy from over there. So it's like he's got a lot going for himself. I tell you, man, when you and I were talking about him a couple years ago, and everybody was laughing at us and said, man, you guys are crazy. This dude is slow as molasses and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, why is he just still, he's just annihilating people. And then it's like, people were talking about the Takam fight. They was like, well, I had Takam up at the time that the fight started.
Yeah, I see
like,
that.
listen, man, a fight is scheduled for 12 rounds or less, right? So it's like, I don't care if you won all 9 or 10 of the first few rounds. If you get stopped in the 12th, you get stopped in the 12th.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? The fight ain't over to the final bell. So it's like, the guys like to say that kind of stuff, bro. They like to say, oh, well, Bud Crawford was losing those first rounds to Kell Brook and everything. But then what happened to Kell Brook?
Yes.
He didn't make it, did he?
You did say that Bud was going to demolish him. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So, this is the thing. And this is why I love to talk boxing, man, because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then when people see, like, when we step out and say things like that, and they're like, those guys are crazy. And then when we're proven right, we can justify being correct because of what we looked at. We looked at the proper things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that we're super scientific brains. No, it's that we're looking and assessing at the proper things. You talking about Dubois having serious trouble with upper body head movement and stuff. That was going to be his Achilles. It's still going to be his Achilles. Remember when he was in there against that guy that rocked him?
Lotley.
And there you go, Lotley. Yeah. And then Lotley, he got rocked, but it was just that guy didn't punch like a real KO artist. He was just a heavyweight that had a bit of a punch. But imagine if that was a real knockout punching guy. Dubois would have been gone in that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you about this. What do you think about that?
About what?
That comment, bro.
Because listen, that's on my live stream, on my call-in show. That's the fight I was calling for.
Yes,
I was like, listen.
I was watching. I didn't comment, but I was watching.
That's a great fight, and that's a fight that Joe Joyce wins. And he wins it on it, like fighting now. He'll win it because we don't know how much Ortiz has left after being stopped twice by Wilder. Both brutal knockouts. That takes something out of you. And we don't know what it, but the thing is, he's big and strong enough that Ortiz can't push him around.
Yeah.
Ortiz can't bully him around.
Yeah, he's a big dude. And
I'm going to tell you something else. Ortiz is a southpaw. He'll get hit with Joyce's right hand and get knocked out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it'll be just like when George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore. It'll be the same thing.
Yeah. I was watching your live storm. I wasn't commenting, but I was watching it. I was watching you calling last week, and that's the reason why I said that to you. Just let me quickly read the chat, Stormy.
Yeah,
And
go
we'll
ahead.
get back to him. Tyrone's put, I also tell you something. I was talking to someone who was his classmate when he was doing his masters. Excuse me. Fucking hell, excuse me. Beer's repeating on me. His masters said that Joyce likes a different person. He sounds slow, but of the punches he took. All right. Can I just say so much, Tommy? He speaks about 4 different languages, doesn't he? Joe Joyce.
Listen, man.
He's quite a
Listen.
clever bloke.
That's what I'm talking about. This man has a lot going for himself, Laws. And I'm probably the first person that you'll ever hear say these things that we're saying today, because I'm giving him far more credit than just being some big, strong pug at heavyweight. I said the man has a lot more substance, a lot more going for himself. He's definitely a marketable commodity. And it's like if they wanted a representative for the heavyweight division as a world champion, he would be that guy. He's got enough character and personality. He could carry that mantle, and he can fight. So it's like Ed Hearn need to get smart. He's over there protecting AJ, protecting AJ, protecting AJ. He needs to see where the real opportunity is. And it's with Joyce. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Do you know what's
Listen,
mad?
Joe Joyce beats Luis Ortiz. He beats Tyson Fury, and he beats AJ. The fight with Wilder would be a bit of a toss-up, simply because we would have to see how Wilder would elect to fight him. If he could mix his punches up, boxing, stick, move, give lateral movement, trying to win on points, he'll be in a better position. But if he's in there trying to exchange with this guy, that is not the way you want to fight Joe Joyce.
Yeah. Do you know what's mad though, Stormy? Years ago, bro, go real back, like to say 2017, 2018, I used to criticise him, and then I think it was the Jennings fight where I watched that. I know he didn't knock Jennings out. I know it went the full 12 rounds, but I saw something different in him. I saw something like he always seems to me. He always seems like he's focused, but he's relaxed, and at the same time,
And you know what else from that Jennings fight?
Yeah.
When I watched it, because I didn't know a lot about Joyce at that time as well. I'm watching that fight, and I was saying to myself, Jennings needs to get off of those ropes and keep the fight in the center of the ring if he's going to have a chance of winning, because he's fighting in Joyce's backyard. The judges are going to just give him favor and everything. But hindsight, upon reflection, he couldn't get off the ropes because that's where Joyce kept him. You know what I'm saying? He hit Joyce with some of his best stuff. And remember Joyce holding his arms out going, come on, bring it. And dude was like, So Jennings just stayed safe, and he didn't try to get knocked out. That's what he did. After giving Klitschko such a tough go, right? Jennings gave Klitschko problems, but Klitschko was a pretty damn good boxer. Why couldn't he do that against Joe Joyce? Because Joyce has a little bit of something else that Klitschko and the other guys don't have. And that's going 12 rounds with a person like that, and he knows how to cut the ring off, Laws. He can cut the ring off, and that makes you tired alone. Trying to stay away from a guy, and then he's heavy-handed, putting those paws on you. See, Takam was doing okay, right? Till he got hit. And he started getting tired because Joyce is banging on him too. So remember, I said, you got to go 12 rounds. Yeah, you might win the first 4 or 5, but you got 4, 5, 6 more to go. And it's like, you're going to get tired. What you going to do when you get tired? Most fighters today don't know how to fight with fatigue, Laws. You know how you fight with fatigue? You know how you fight with fatigue? You tie your man up, you turn him, you give angles and circles, you use your jab. That's how you fight with fatigue. Not hugging and holding, but you tie the guy up, let the ref separate you, you step around, make the guy reset, move his feet, is something that you have to really practice in the gym. And most guys don't practice that because they're usually offensive guys who are used to knocking lesser opponents out all the time. Or if they are skillful boxers, they're used to being so far out ahead on points that they could coast. But you can never coast against a guy who knows how to put the pressure on you and cut the ring off.
Superb. Superb. That's boxing knowledge for you right there. That's boxing knowledge for you right there. Yes, sir, Stormy. Yes, sir. Totally agree, mate. I mean, I want to just go on a little bit because I want to ask you about some other fights. But just before we wrap up talking about him, totally agree with you, Stormy. And on Art Stormy, I wasn't impressed with his defense because I thought he got clocked a few times. But I think now looking back, when I look back at it, I think he knew that Takam had nothing to hurt him with. I don't know. I mean, I like Joe, like you say, he's got a lot of good things going for him. He's shit at ballet and stuff like that. For a big dude, man, the guy can. When you watch him do them somersaults on the trampoline and stuff like that, 250, 260 pound man.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of things going for him. Right, Stormy. Because I'm going to be on about another half an hour, if that's all right, if you want to stick along with me.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm here,
Oh, top man. Right, Stormy, what do you see tonight then? Because I've already said it whilst I was waiting for you to come through. I see this as a total beatdown tonight. What do you think, bro?
For which fight?
The Pacquiao Spence fight.
Well, they're not fighting tonight.
Is it not tonight?
No. Even look on your banner there. It's August 21st.
You're joking. What a fucking spaz. All right. I thought it was the 27th. Oh, I don't know where I've gone with that then. I apologise for that. What a flipping divvy.
You still got a little while.
What a dipstick. I thought it was tonight. Oh, never mind. Well, you learn something new every day, Stormy. Well, let's talk about thingy then, Stormy. I mean, I haven't bothered doing... I apologise to everyone for that. I feel like a right knob.
Talk about who now?
Let's talk about... do you have Alzheimer's, Lots? I think I have, Tyro. Lots the pensioner. Yeah, he's fucking getting to me. I can't believe I've put the banner up as a flipping. I put it up as like my main thing for your banner for your thumbnail for your live stream.
Yeah.
I've got it up in the background, and I thought, what a fucking fool! I fucking just made myself look a right knob on YouTube, but heyo.
Well, let's talk about another one of the UK guys that I like, Laws.
Yeah, go on, bro.
Supposed to be fighting today, but couldn't fight due to coming down with C19. That's Conor Benn, man. I was looking forward to his fight with Granados because I thought that's the type of fighter that he should be fighting for a next step up, And Granados is definitely a truth serum type fighter. He will let you know if Ben is for real or not. He's not necessarily in the threat of, I wouldn't say beating Ben, but he'll make Ben show us what he really has, And I really like that. And they were supposed to fight tonight or today, but they're not. I'm actually watching that card, and the main event turned out to be after the Ben fight was scratched. This featherweight WBA featherweight championship between Zucan and Lee Wood. So
yeah.
But I like I like Conor Ben, man.
Do you know what?
And you know what? He's one of the fighters who's the son of a legend.
Yeah.
But I think he has a little bit more than what people might think he has.
Do you think?
But he's going to need opponents to bring it out of him.
Mm.
You know?
Well, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not too. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him, Meek.
Well, I remember you were saying that. But you know something? Don't forget this part of it.
Yes,
We're
sir.
talking about this current era of fighters. And I'm going to say this, man. I did my Friday night chop session last night, and I titled it "Of Men, of Mice, Not Men in Boxing Today." There's a lot of mice out here, Laws.
Yeah.
A lot of mice. And by it being that way, it leaves opportunity for other guys to come in and be successful. So that's what I'm looking at. And remember, he's got his daddy's blood in him. He's hot-blooded like that as a fighter.
Oh, yeah,
There's not a lot of guys who are
there.
hot-blooded out there as fighters.
Yeah.
You look at these guys. I think totally different about Jamal Charlo now after he runs his mouth, calls out Benavidez. Benavidez answers him, and then he backtracks. You see? That right there, he lost a lot on that. And even now, Benavidez is even threatening to come down in weight to challenge. He's like, no, you the one that called me out, you know, and everything. So let's do this. And Jamal is still backing away from it.
Yeah.
But he said he'll fight Canelo or he'll fight Plant, but he don't want no parts of Benavidez. Now, what does that really say? Canelo don't want any parts of Benavidez either.
Yeah.
And Plant wasn't in no hurry to fight Benavidez either.
I don't think a lot of people want to fight
exactly of mice, not men in boxing today. So that's what I say. Some people can get away with, you know, hiding in the shadows and everything. But sometimes when you turn that light switch on, man, just like roaches, they scatter.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, what it is with me, though, Stormy, I still can't believe I've just fucking put that up on there, but never mind. The thing is with me, right, Stormy, I like Conor Ben, right, bro. I've made a few videos dissing him. I wouldn't say dissing him, but I've made a few videos going in on him. But the reason why I'm not hell bent on him, right? Mo will tell you. It's a simple reason, Stormy, because I know boxing now is a money marketing thing and all that. You know, you got to make as much bag as you can. I understand that, but I think when you've been, for me, he's like you just said, he's had the backing of his dad, which Eddie Hearn jumped straight on board. He's the son of over here, maybe not in America, but over here, he's the son of a legendary fighter over here. So Eddie Hearn straight on that, like Ricky Hatton's son. Do you know what I mean? They're straight on it. For me personally, Stormy, I think Conor Ben at the start was a lot better than. I'm not a mean fighter, but I think his career was a lot better than what it is now because he was roughing it up with a few fighters. He fought some guy, I can't think who the guy was, his name. And he got put down on his arse and he got a fucking bust jaw. And the guy did a bit of a number on him, but since then he just seems to be like hand chosen fighters from Matchroom. We've got guys over here who would give him that work. We've got David Anavisian, the Russian guy. He now fights out of the UK, who beat Josh Kelly. Conor Ben was calling Josh Kelly out, trying to get this fight with Josh Kelly. Anyway, Josh Kelly went on to fight David Anavisian, and David Anavisian fucking wiped the floor with him. Ended up stopping him in about 6 rounds. And then, of course, obviously, you've got the little Albanian pocket rocket, Florian Marku, who's been chasing chasing Conor Ben for well over a year, calling him a coward. He just won't fight him. Now, I understand. I had this talk with EJ Boxing a few months back, and EJ did make some great points where it's all about the money. I understand that, but when it's all right, what my problem was, it's all right for Conor Benn to call out Amir Khan, who's shot to pieces. Don't get me wrong, Khan's a good Ben. He's been an all right fighter, Khan has, but it's all right for him uh, to call out Khan and old fighters, and then when they don't say, like Amir Khan said, you haven't got a belt, so I'm not interested, and then he's saying, no, he ducked me and all this. But yet, when other fighters are calling you out and you don't want to fucking blame, like he's saying to Mark, oh, you've only had 9 fights and all that. He won't fight David Hanavician then, who's a former world champion. Go and fight David Hanavician. I'll tell you why you'll steer around David Hanavician, because there's a chance that you will get knocked out and stopped. But you want, and then all of a sudden, Stormy, he's screaming, "I'm pay-per-view, I'm pay-per-view." You haven't beaten anyone to be pay-per-view. You fought a guy, Samuel Vargas, who was coming off three losses out of his last 5 fights. So
Yeah. And if you know what he's doing, what they're doing, they're marketing him, man. That's what they're doing. They are. And
exactly,
I will not deny that fact.
Yeah.
But it's a great ploy in today's boxing when you have someone who has, and I consider his style an exciting style. But if you put him in certain fights that will allow him to develop and grow better, become better, before putting him in with those real threats, by the time you do this and he can fight those more true threats, he can do it with bargaining leverage economically and possibly be in a position to win as well, because a fighter can grow by putting him in with the right fights at the right time. You put him in with the wrong fights at the wrong time, just trying to prove he's a tough guy, and you can not only take away the flame and the spirit of the fighter, but you can damage the progress in the development of that same fighter. I give you an example of that. Remember Julian Jackson's son?
Yes.
They put him in there with Charlo, and he got smashed. Right?
And the British guy, was it Andy Lee, beat him as well?
Andy Lee knocked him out. Charlo knocked him out. That's the end of him. You see, trying to put him in tough. Trying to put him in tough. You have to let a guy learn his craft. He can, yes, everybody got a punch at the top level, right? Everybody got a punch. But do you have the capabilities, the IQ, the wherewithal, how to survive, how to tie a guy up, how to kill time on the clock, how to do these things when you just been running through guys on your record who don't belong in the ring with you? That's what can happen to you. Remember Edson Lubin? He was treading right along. They put him in there with Charlo, and he didn't even make it out the first round.
Yeah.
Too much too soon. It don't matter if the guy look good. It don't matter if he's knocking people out. You want him to learn how to fight. Remember, I said a lot of these guys become champions before they even learn how to fight. That's why they can't defend the titles and reign, because they have more knockouts than they have fights, and they get in there and someone really tests them and they fall apart.
Yes, that's true. I'll just read the chat quickly, but I just want to follow up off that. For me, that what you've just said there, Stormy, is a prime example of oh God, what was his name? Fernando Vargas when he fought Felix Trinidad.
Yep.
Same example, prime example of that, yeah. Because I can remember watching Vargas thinking, fucking hell, he's knocking everyone out. He's great, this guy. And then I watched him fight Felix Trinidad, and he got fucking destroyed off Trinidad.
Yep.
Absolutely destroyed off him.
Then he
So,
got
yeah,
destroyed by
OG.
De La Hoya as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So 100 there, Stormy. I totally agree. I agree with what you're saying there. I think what it is with me as well is
The
I
thing
think what
that
it is
Connor
with
has going for him too is that his dad went through it. You know what I mean? His dad can talk to him behind the scenes and say, look here, son, I don't know if you should take that fight, but you might want to take this fight. It might not be that this fighter might not have that fighter's reputation and everything, but you can gain more experience from this fight, from this guy, and it won't take as much out of you. And then you use that as a stepping stone to get to someplace else. And you come back and see that other guy a couple of fights down the road. You see what I'm saying? This is how a good management team will move a fighter who may have something. And like I said, he has something that is, he has a style that's pleasing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think what it is with me, to fucking me, Tyrone always goes in on Charlo. John Jackson was on his way to beating the hype job Jamal Charlo. Tyrone's ruthless, man. He's fucking ruthless. But he's consistent, though. You can't take that away from Tyrone. He's consistent. If someone's a hype job, he'll say they're a hype job till the end of the days. But yeah, getting back to him, Stormy, I think with me, bro, I think what it is with Conor Ben, with me, I don't know, bro. I see him sometimes. I don't like the shit when he's coming out. I'm pay per view. Why am I not pay per view? You know what I mean, man? Go sit down and fight someone, then you pay per view. You know, like for me, Marku, the guy's had 9 fights, Stormy, and his next opponent is a guy who's got 20 fights, 1 draw, 19 wins with 15 knockouts. Now, to me, that's someone who's taking a risk. Marku's only had 9 fights. He's got 8 wins, 6 knockouts, and 1 draw. But, you know, we'll leave that for another day. Right, Stormy, because I'm going to get off in about 15 minutes. But I want to just speak to you quickly about if this fight between Sean Porter and Bud Crawford is made. I know it's been ordered, but I don't know if it's been made yet, or like, you know, purse bids or whatever.
Yeah, they're stalling.
Yeah. How do you think that fight's go, Stormy?
I think you're gonna see Sean Porter get beat up like you never saw him get beat up before.
Right.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that's why Porter is not really pushing for that WBO mandatory and everything. Porter knows, but he has to keep some sort of resolute regarding this situation. Bud Crawford has knocked out everybody he's faced at welterweight since he moved up. But it's not even just knocking guys out. It's the way that he wins. He's a lot stronger than he gives the appearance of being. He punches a lot harder and sharper than he's given credit for doing.
I agree that.
Yeah, and the fact that everyone has put Earl Spence on their mind as being the guy. Remember, they were both going toward welterweight championships because Keith Thurman wouldn't fight Earl Spence, and he had to go to the UK and fight Kell Brook for that opportunity, right? But both he and Crawford were coming up to the welterweights, and not that Earl was coming up, he was already at welterweight, but he wasn't yet champion. But the thing about it is, for whatever reason, Bud has become the villain in people's mind. But the kid is good, man. He's very good. And I see something in him as far as his personality that is like, he loves proving people wrong. So everybody was like, well, if he fights Sean Porter, then, you know, he will have beaten somebody or fought somebody legitimate. You guys are pushing Sean Porter out there to get his ass whooped. Excuse my language on your channel, Laws,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
right.
would say that simply because Bud is that type of guy.
Yeah.
He will beat that man down just as a point to prove. And he won't gloat over it. But he'll look at everybody that said he ain't fought nobody and point at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he'll tell them, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing to Earl Spence too. Which, of course, people will argue like, oh, yeah, right. But I'm going to tell you something. When you have someone who is as talented as he is, he's a 5-dimensional fighter.
Yeah.
And he has ring IQ. He can get you out of there. He's dangerous.
Yeah.
Just like I said, people are selling Joe Joyce short, right? They sell Terrence Bud Crawford short.
Yeah. Just quickly, Ty, before I drop you on, ABN, salute to you, my good brother. Hope you well. Really appreciate you coming through. He's top man, ABN. Much love and blessings to you, brother. Hope you're well out there. Just quickly, Ty, before you say anything, I totally agree with what you just said on he doesn't get credit for his power, and he hits harder than what he looks, and because he's only a small welterweight, isn't he, Stormy? But I totally do agree with you there, where I think he does it hard. He hits hard for a small dude, and he's strong.
Yeah, remember guys like Mac Foster? I'm not Mac. Bob Foster at light heavyweight back during the 60s and early 70s. He was knocking people dead. He was as skinny as a rail. And then you look at Tommy Hearns, skinny as a rail, knocking people dead. Tommy. Those guys can punch, man.
Yeah. Tyrone, do you want to speak on it quickly, bro? And then I'll give I'm just going to nip for a quick ciggy, and I'll be back in a minute, and then I'll give my 2 pence worth or 2 cents worth, whatever you lot across the pond say.
2 cents.
2 cents. Right. Do you want to chime in on that, Ty?
Yeah. But before I do that, quickly, anybody who, if that Granados Ben fight gets rescheduled, put some money down on Granados, please. Just a couple of bucks. He's a 10-1. He's as high as a 14-1 in some places. He's a plus 1,200. Put $50 down. You might see a return. I'm not lying. That's a great bet. But yeah, man, salute Stormy, man. Shout out to the panel, everybody on here in the chat. I agree with you pretty much about everything you said about Crawford. And here's a new term I'll give you. I was talking to somebody behind the scenes. Crawford, in the eyes of many people we know and other fighters, right? He's the term, and I'll call it this. He's an adversarial Negro. An adversarial Negro. He's a Negro that gets in the way of other guys that they would want to be successful. They want to use him as a stepping stone, a.k.a. Gary.
Tyrone, let me stop you right there. That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Use it from now on. Use it from now on. I just thought
that is brilliant. No, because you're absolutely right. And there are other fighters out there in boxing that could be considered the same. And the fact that you put that way, that was so well put, so eloquently put.
It took me a while to put something together because I was like, man, there's got to be some. At first, I was like opposing Negro, but I was like, no, adversarial, because you got to think about it. But he's not the only one. I'll give you a couple of examples, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Danny Jacobs, before he became Money Man, right? Danny Jacobs, 2017, 2018. He was supposed to be the stepping stone for who? Jamal Charlo. Gary Russell is supposed to be a stepping stone for who? Tank Davis and Devin Haney. So guys already have their favorites picked out, and they're willing to sacrifice, another guy who supposedly looks like them and put him down just so that their guys can move on ahead. Adversarial Negroes. I gotta go with that.
That's it right there. 1,000%. Go ahead and finish making your comment on what you were saying about Bud too. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that was perfect. I just had to give you credit on that.
Yeah, man, I agree exactly with what you said about Crawford. I think With Porter, he'll beat him the most convincingly out of anybody who's beaten him.
And Porter knows it.
Yeah, he knows it because I saw from his tweet. Actually, even before that, they were going back and forth about the money. Then they jumped off because they said PBC will give them something else. And then all of a sudden, this gets ordered, and he puts out a tweet. He's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm ready for the challenge." You're not ready for a challenge. He doesn't want that fight. I don't think Porter wants that fight. And they're going to try to make every avenue not to make it. I think the only way that fight happens if somebody on either side decides to bite the bullet and put the money down to force him into fighting Crawford. And Crawford versus Spence, I think, is a tough fight. Tough fight as well. I think. I don't know, man. With Spence, I was thinking about this while I was listening to you guys in the chat. He hasn't had a knockout since Peterson. And that's 2018. He hasn't had a major knockout since Bundu, and that was 2015 or 2016.
Let me help you out there.
Yeah.
I'll take you back to a parallel in the sport. There was a heavyweight named Mike Tyson, and people thought the world of the guy, even when he got knocked out by Buster Douglas and everything, even when he went away for a duration, and we all know why he went away, and I'm not gonna speak that out on the air and everything, but he came back into the sport, and people still thought that he was the man. And all during the time that he was away, there were people who would come and go, but there was one person who was a mainstay during that time and who was actually a threat to Mike Tyson's reign before Mike lost to Buster Douglas, and that was Evander Holyfield. And Evander Holyfield was the type of fighter who fought with inspiration. In other words, he always found goals to set for himself and achieve. And he said when he was 12 years old in the boxing gym, his first coach told him, if you keep at this, you could become heavyweight champion of the world. And even when he turned pro, he was still junior heavyweight, like cruiserweight, not a heavyweight. But he had the opportunity to move up after becoming undisputed at cruiserweight. And who was in the sights? Mike Tyson. And the thing about that was Mike Tyson had what they thought at the time was a death grip on the heavyweight championship, being undisputed heavyweight champion. But up prior to he losing to Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield took out a full page in the newspaper. Said, hey, Mike, let's get it on. He was Mike Tyson's #1 contender for all 3 of those sanctioning body belts that Tyson had as undisputed champ for 2 years. Don King and Mike Tyson found ways to avoid Evander Holyfield. And even when he finally became heavyweight champion after knocking out Buster Douglas, who conquered Mike Tyson, people said Holyfield still ain't the champ because he didn't beat Mike Tyson. So imagine, he went on and defended against George Foreman and Riddick Bowe and all of that, and he had knockdown dragouts with Bowe, but people still didn't respect him being the heavyweight champion of the world because he never beat Mike Tyson. And the only reason that Mike Tyson and Don King fought Evander Holyfield was because of his lackluster fight with Michael Moore in their fight, and Michael Moore defeated Holyfield, and it looked like, something was wrong with him and everything. They thought Holyfield was shot after his fight with Bobby Ches. He had a lackluster effort against Ches. He beat him, but he didn't look like the old Evander with all that snap and everything. But cutting it short now, when he had the opportunity to fight Mike Tyson, he had everything riding on that because he knew in his mind, he said, if I beat this guy, this is the guy that everybody is talking about, is the man. I beat him. There's no way that you cannot give me credit. He beat the crap out of Mike Tyson, not once, but twice, and made Tyson quit in the second fight by biting him and disqualifying himself. But I say all that to say this about Bud Crawford. It's these people out here talking about Spence, putting him on this pedestal. It's not Spence. Spence is going about his work like he's supposed to. But it's the people that they put him on this pedestal. You putting Bud down. Yes, he's come up from lighter weights, just like Pernell Whitaker did, Shane Mosley did. But why is it? Because when Bud beat all the guys that were down there where he's at, you're saying he didn't beat anybody. He beat who was there. When he came up to welterweight, all the round robin at welterweight stopped. They literally froze him out. They did not give him an opportunity to come and dance at their party. But he knows as soon as he gets the opportunity to face, like I said, Sean Porter or even Earl Spence, those men better be ready because he's coming for legacy. He's not, listen, you can't fool me with all of the talk. It gets done in that ring. And some guys are prepared for that, and some guys are not. Bud Crawford will fight like you have denied him. He will fight like you had the doors barred. He will fight like you froze him out. And he'll make somebody pay for it. That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a. Oh.
Did you hear my sorry to cut in, but you got to hear this.
No,
did you hear my term for Crawford and other fighters like him?
No, but I bet he's ruthless. Go on, let's
I
hear
said he's an adversarial Negro. So he's the Negro that's the stepping stone for the other, chosen Negroes. And it wasn't just him, but there were other fighters today who are like that, right? Before Danny Jacobs went off and did his thing, he was the adversarial Negro to who? Jamal Charlo. They were supposed to step over Danny Jacobs for Jamal Charlo, even though at the time,
guys,
I thought Danny Jacobs could beat Jamal Charlo. Go ahead. At the time.
Hey, Lee Wood just stopped Zucan in the 12th round.
You're joking.
Yeah. Knocked him down twice. Stopped him.
Oh, fair play. Fair play. That's on that. That's Eddie's Back Garden show.
And Ben Davison is his trainer too.
Oh, cool. I'll go and watch that back. Did that end up being the main fight, that Stormy?
Huh?
Did that end up being the main card?
Yeah, they bumped it up as the main event.
Right. Oh, fair play. Mickey Dubs put Bud don't fight too many times a year. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. To be honest, though, Mick, I don't think a lot of fighters do they?
Yeah.
Me personally, just getting back to the Porter bit. I think Porter.
You think your guy wants that fight?
Say again, bro.
I know you're a Porter fan. Do you think he wants the fight?
I think he'd take it. I think he'd take it.
Unless real money is put to him. But would he, if he were to choose to fight him or not? Probably not.
Because aren't they really good friends outside of the ring?
I think so. And the issue is the style.
Do you remember the struggle that he had with Adrian Broner?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Bud Crawford is 10 times the fighter that Adrian Broner was.
Yeah. Bud's class, yeah. There's no doubt about it. Bud's a classy operator. I mean,
people don't want to give him his credit as being that, though, Laws. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You got a lot of guys, even guys out here with channels. They put the man down. They talk about him like he's actually incredulous. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The man is a quality fighter in this era. You should want to see these fights. You should want to see these opponents in there with him so we can see how great everyone is. But that's not what they want.
Totally
it's
agree,
not.
Stormy. Totally
and
agree.
You could tell by the way that they speak, and you could tell by the way that they listen. You can never get on in life by putting someone down to big yourself up.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's totally true. I mean, if anyone's ever heard me say, I've never, ever dissed Bud Crawford. I've never said that. I might have said that Spence will beat him, and then I've said other things that Bud would beat him. Me personally, and or not, that's a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I would never. Me personally, if someone was to say to me, "Do you think would win?" I'd say, I honestly don't know because they're two very talented fighters. And like you said, Stormy, people always say, "Oh, Bud's ducking and all this," and I always think, "Nah, fucking Bud." I've never ever said Bud's ducked Errol Spence because he wants money and all this. Never. Listen, Bud wants to make that bag. So does Spence. For me, I think it's a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I really
Yeah.
do. I really do.
Why can't they just do a 50-50 purse split?
Yeah.
If that was what if the fight was contingent upon, because you do that, you put a rematch clause in there, and you say the guy who came away with the victory, if they want the rematch, they get, X amount more, a percentage more in the rematch.
Yeah.
But the idea is to make the fight happen because that's what we want to see. I'm tired of living in an era where all of these guys are fantasy fights instead of the actual fights.
Yeah.
You're living in an era where all of these guys, it's a fantasy. Why didn't we see Joshua and Wilder when they were both undefeated champions? We were supposed to see that.
Money.
Now you got a guy who's undefeated, but he has the most questionable character and background in his career that everything has an asterisk and a stain on it, and in Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you have other fighters who didn't get the title shots that they should have gotten when they were supposed to be there, like Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why does the sport have to continue to mire itself in mud? Why can't we see the sport be elevated by things taking place like they're supposed to take place?
Yeah.
You look at Gary Russell Jr. He's been a champion at that weight, and everybody vacated and didn't want to vacated the division, didn't want to fight the man.
Yeah.
You look at Guillermo Rigondeaux. Once he stopped Nonito Donaires fast tracking to stardom, he knocked the guy out.
Yeah.
And then they just froze him out of the sport. It's ridiculous when you see these things, and nobody wants to, and it's happening to fighters of color. It's ridiculous.
That's fucking bang on, that is, Stormy. Bang on, that is. That's bang on, though, mate. Yeah, they did the same with Rigondeaux and you were just on about. The thing is, though, Stormy, for me personally, I think if Spence beats Pacquiao, which I think he is, I think that's a beatdown. I think Bud, though, I mean, if Spence gets that belt, he's got 3 belts. I think Bud's got to take a bit of a 60-40. He's got to.
Yeah, of course. He'll be forced to. He'll be forced to. And I don't have, but when I was saying why couldn't they just do a 50, I was talking about, a while ago, way before he had the accident and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like they could have just did it, man.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, they actually hurt their own careers with this foolishness, man. You could get 2-3 fights, and all this money that these guys want, right? You can actually make it if you're putting on the quality matches and you have rematches and stuff like that. That's where it happens.
Facts. And the thing is, though, Stormy, they could have had 2 or 3 fights by now.
That's what I'm saying. And how much money would that be for either of them in the bank?
Exactly.
Think about that.
Exactly.
And you got a fool like Canelo Alvarez out here talking about trying to mix into his negotiations that even if the fight don't take place with the champion that he's supposed to be facing in Plant, if he has to take another fight with a different opponent, even if it's a lesser opponent, he still want to make the 40 million or something. Get the hell out of here with that.
Yeah. Totally agree. Dre, finally, salute to you, brother. Salute, OG. Good.
Stormy,
Just quickly, I just want to read this comment what Mickey Dubs put. Mickey's put, because the promoters and the cable companies are just plain greedy. Yeah, totally agree.
100%.
My bad, Ty. Go on, bro.
I'll just touch on that and then I'll ask Stormy my question. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's part of the reason why I've been really irritated with how PBC handled this third fight. Uh, Even before that, apparently how they handled the second fight was the same way. They gave all promotional control to Top Rank. They've let Top Rank put in their commentators, set their venue, set their date, set their time, and I just don't understand why. I think they'd rather just sit down and collect money than to really push for their guy. Because listen, if my guy went behind enemy lines, he's going to
Yeah.
be with backup, with a team. He's not going to sit here and try to do this by himself. We're going to fight for him, make sure everything is fair. But my question for Stormy is different. Crawford versus Jamel. Who do you think would win that fight?
That's an interesting fight because Jamel has a bit of size, probably strength advantage over Bud, but he doesn't have ring IQ or boxing skill over Bud. And I've seen Pernell Whitaker go up and beat bigger, stronger guys. And I've seen Floyd Mayweather go up and beat bigger, stronger guys. You understand? So history teaches. Shane Mosley went up and beat bigger, stronger guys. So history, listen, Roberto Duran went up and beat bigger, stronger guys. So knowing this from history, it's not off the table or even absurd to think that Bud can't outbox the guy. And if he catches him right on the chin, anybody can go.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, if Crawford can take a punt, if Crawford could take his punch somehow, if he could, I think he beats Jamel easy. But that's if he can take his punch.
And think of it like this. There's two things that could happen in that fight too, Tyrone. And this excellent question, and I'm glad you asked me because it gives me a chance to expand upon what I have to say with this. Bud knows that the guy would be bigger and stronger. So definitely he would be on point with minding defense and everything. But all he has to do is catch Charlo one time with something solid that make Charlo say, oh shit, this kid got some pop. The fight's on an even playing field at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens. Believe me, it happens in matches. When you hear a guy say, when the fight is over and they say, well, what happened tonight, Joe? Well, I couldn't let my hands go. I don't know. I couldn't get in my rhythm and I could. Yeah, because that guy made you keep your hands at home.
Excellent.
I'm telling you, when you know the sport and you see what has happened, man, you understand that these things can happen. Roberto Duran put Iran Barkley on his ass. Tommy Hearns couldn't even do that. Hello.
It's great listening to you.
Hello.
Stormy. Fucking great listening to you.
Roberto Duran went 15 rounds with Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Tommy Hearns went 3.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And Roberto came up from lightweight.
Yeah. Because he went up and then he stepped down to fight Earns, got knocked out. And then Earns went up, didn't he, to fight Hagler?
Yeah.
And Hagler knocked him
out.
out.
I'm telling you, man, boxing is the one sport where it don't matter if all these different guys, oh, you fought that guy, you beat him, you fought that guy, you beat him, or whatever. Well, I'm going to fight. That don't mean you going to beat him.
Facts.
The only thing that history teaches us about those guys who have fought each other is this. When you face everyone, no one comes out unscathed. I had said 2 years ago, and Laws might remember this. I said, if all those guys at welterweight fought each other, Bud, Spence, Garcia, Porter. Who else was there? There was one more person. If all of those guys had fought each other, nobody comes out of that undefeated. Nobody.
Yeah,
Thurman.
you did.
Thurman is
Yeah,
the
you
other.
did. Yeah, fucking hell, Stone. Yeah, you did. I remember that. It was about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I remember you saying that. It was on my live stream when you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that because we were on about if they all got mixed up in the mix, we'd be surprised who would come out, wouldn't we?
Because you know why? Because somebody like a Ray Leonard, right, will be sitting in the audience watching two of the other guys, your adversaries, getting it on, and see some weaknesses or whatever that they might be able to exploit. And they'd be like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I saw how he responded to that. So I'm going to do this when I get in there with him over there. And see, that's what happens. That's when you're a student of the game. Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, all of those guys were sitting in the audience at one another's fights.
Facts.
And they fought each other.
Oh, it's great.
So, yeah, Tyrone, great question. But I'll tell you something. And we know that Charlo can be hurt, don't we?
That was the first time I'd seen him hurt, to be fair. I mean, I've seen him drop, but that was sort of like well, he was sort of buzzed in that, but
do you know what pisses me off though? I'll salute to you, watcher. Salute to you, bro. And salute Reggie. Hope you're good, brother. Salute to you. Do you know what pisses me off though? Is how ruthless everyone in boxing turns just like that. You know, because there's not for me personally, I don't think there's not many fair people in boxing who you know, if a fighter loses or if they didn't do as good as what they did, they don't, you know, what I find, because like for instance, for me, I've seen a lot of people always saying Charlo's, both of them are the best thing since sliced bread, and they are tremendous fighters. But when he had that fight, I've seen a lot of people turn on him though.
the Montiel guy.
No, when Charlo,
you know, you're right, Laws, and they turn on him for the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
You see, because like I always gave Mel more credit than Maul because Mel has shown something that's rare today in boxing. He's shown that he can knock you out with every punch in the arsenal.
Yeah.
Hook, right hand, uppercut, jab to the belly. And you know, it's like this he's done it that way. So you have to give credit to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Maul, he seems to have abandoned the boxing aspect, and he looks to become like a plodding, come forward guy. He's not the most defensively sound guy, and he doesn't really put combinations together, so he could be outworked.
Yeah.
And if you've got lateral movement, he's gonna have a problem catching up to you. So it's like what we saw in both of their recent fights were more chinks in the armor that were shown, but you don't get to see because of the quality of opposition. The best thing that Mel had going for him is he fought Tony Harrison twice. Tony Harrison is a darn good boxer, and he has pop on his punches, but he doesn't take risks. See, guys who take risks, those are the ones who will bring something out of you because they're willing to gamble. You see, and Bud is a gambler. That's why when Tyrone asked me that question, I was able to respond that way because I know these things. I can't speak about the guys who I don't know. You know, we never seen Mel challenged like not Montiel, like Castano challenged him. He did. We didn't see Maul challenged like Montiel challenged because the guy was like, okay, you hit me, you hurt me, you wobbled me, but I ain't going nowhere. That plays on the guy's psyche. When you hit him with your Sunday punches and he don't go nowhere, you'd be like, man, I gave him my best. What do I do now? Fight, sucker, fight. You understand? So you never know until you get these questions asked in fights. That's why I said just a moment ago, Laws, that people turn on them for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
They turn on for the wrong reasons. It's like you don't do that. You just lower your expectations. You just pointed out something a while ago that the last time Spence really knocked somebody out years ago with Bundu. You understand?
that was almost years ago.
Yeah.
That's another thing about Spence, man. A lot of I thought it was hate from Garcia.
Though, didn't he, mind you?
No, but I'm saying like I'm talking about like an actual knockout.
Oh, right.
Somebody out. That was 6 years ago. But like, I don't know if it was hate or what, but like, a lot of people saying this guy doesn't punch as hard as it's shown he can. I don't know. I mean, Garcia said Lipinets punch harder, which I thought at first, oh, maybe he's just hating or whatever. But then Danny Garcia said the same thing. Danny Garcia said Keith Thurman punches way harder than Spence. He said Spence punches like Lamont Peterson. That's what he said. He's like, they're both strong. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. If he's heavy-handed or if it was the opponents or the car accident. I don't know. But it just
he has great punch placement. He has great punch placement. But you have to be there for punch placement. And Danny Garcia was never noted for footwork.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I forgot about that bum, Ocampo. Oh yeah, he knocked him out with a body shot. I forgot about that. Thanks.
But that's a guy you shouldn't even think about because he had no business in there with Earl to begin with.
No, he shouldn't even have been cleaning up. He shouldn't have even been cleaning up the ring. He shouldn't have even been cleaning the ring up. No.
He shouldn't have even been cleaning up.
Ocampo is trash.
Fucking ruthless. I tell you what, Tyrone, you should write a book on boxing. It'd be bestseller. Most ruthless looking guy in boxing.
Montiel is just a bum who gave it his all in training camp. I'm talking about a guy who worked harder like he needed air to breathe versus Charlo. I don't think Charlo really trained for that fight. I also said to somebody while I was eating pizza, because it's very easy for me to do sitting down and not having to worry about fighting. I said that Montiel doesn't know how to punch correctly. He doesn't know how to punch with technique. Would you say that, Stormy B, man? There's a lot of Mexican fighters who have that problem. And I say this while I was eating pizza.
Yeah. You know, that's something when you see guys and you can notice that, but you're absolutely correct that there are a lot of fighters who do not punch with proper technique. They don't.
Because he didn't step into it. He kind of wings it almost like a Family Dollar version of Margarito.
Or those horrible guys, the Figueroa brothers, man. It's
those guys.
Those dudes, man. Let me tell you something. If this Figueroa brother that's getting ready to fight this other brother,
Stephen Fulton,
if Fulton fights the wrong fight against this guy, he gonna get beat because the guy will come on like a wave, and he's definitely one like Joe Joyce. We talked about earlier in the show. We talked that Joe Joyce can take it. Figueroa can take it, but the idea is because he can take it, you just keep putting it on him all night long, bell to bell. That's how you beat guys like that. Sometimes they corner have to step in and save them. You understand? But don't fight his fight. Fight your fight doing that. But those guys are definitely the ones who are an example of that, man. They just, punching with improper technique. It's a wonder they don't hurt themselves, but they're used to fighting that way.
Yeah, so you would think they throw out their shoulder or something the way they punch because they don't even really step into it. They just kind of walk, like one of those laws, like one of those AI on the video games, like bots. They just kind of walk up like NPCs and like throw these punches that are just like winging wide, and they throw their shoulder in it. You would think their shoulder throws out. And that's what he was doing to Jamal Montiel. I think if Montiel punched with better technique, and if he had, had more of an IQ in there, he could have put Charlo down with a body shot or something like that because he was really hurting him down there.
Yeah.
Now,
So
just
you've gone on
imagine a
boxing?
guy who would stand up against Maul, who has ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why now,
You've-
don't be surprised if within the next year you see Canelo look to give him a shot.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a very dangerous fight for Maul against Canelo. There was a time when I thought that he'd be able to do something against Canelo. I don't think that anymore.
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know one thing though, Stormy? I think the Charlo brothers they're too emotional for me. Especially, he was the one who fought Jamal Wanty, who fought Tony
Tony
Harrison.
Harrison, yeah.
Yeah, I think Harrison beat him because he got under his skin. I mean, Harrison's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I don't know.
I thought Charlo won the first fight. I won't lie, but I
Do you
thought
think?
Harrison. Well, the cards were different, but from my eyes, I thought Harrison was doing much better in the second fight than he did in the first fight. And even my brother's a casual. He said, "What's up with this Jamel guy? Like, he lost the first fight and fought the exact same way in the second fight. Harrison won the first fight and fought a completely different fight in the second fight. Like,
but he played around and got caught.
Yeah,
right. That was the end of that. It's like, see, that's why you got to focus up. And see, I know Harrison was kind of feeling himself. And
man, I love that way he was doing the whole he was like dancing in the ring and just theatrics. I was laughing, and then when he got touched, I was like, "Fuck."
Yep, it happens.
I was like, he was about to give this guy another loss, and then all of a sudden, I had to hear it from Mike.
Do you know what?
I still don't like remembering that fight.
If Canelo fights Arthur Peterviev then, or Bataviv, whatever he's called, or Bivol, how do you see him going in them fights? Me, quickly, I think he wipes the floor with Dimitri Bivol. I've never been a big fan of Bivol. I don't see anything special about him.
Bivol is very limited, man.
Yeah, I think
smartest,
so.
He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer either. So Canelo can trick him into things. Plus, if he fought Canelo, he might be blinded by the bright lights. It'll be the biggest fight he's ever been in his life.
Good point.
And Canelo has been on the big stage numerous times now, so that doesn't get to him at all. The mystique and everything of Canelo may play a huge factor, but this is the thing. Bivol don't go nowhere. His feet are like stuck in quicksand. And Canelo loves those kind of fighters.
Exactly.
He don't like to have to go looking for you. You understand? And he's good enough defensively for you not to catch him with, clean shots and hurt him, Now, if he's talking about fighting Bitter Beef, that's a different story right there, because that man has a different type of punch and power, and I think that Bitter Beef stops Canelo.
Yeah. Tyrone's just he's put, all right, thanks, guys. I've got to go to get my headphones before the store closes. Peace out. Yeah, peace to you, Ty. Sweet to you, brother. I'm going to be wrapping up myself in the next 5 minutes anyway. But Stormy, I said same thing, bro. I said I totally agree with you, bro. I think he wipes the floor with Dimitri Bivol. I've never ever been a big fan of Bivol. I mean, I've seen him fight a couple of times, bro, and I just don't see anything like you just said. He's flat-footed. I just don't see anything special about him. I can't even remember who the guy was who he fought in his last fight, and I was watching him. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I was fucking nodding off. I was starting yawn. He's boring. Peterviev, for me, Stormy, I think he's a fucking tough fight. But I don't. Something about Peterviev. I was on his. When he beat Volsteak, and before that, when he beat Callum Johnson, I thought Beterviev's a great fighter. And I just thought, I don't know, is it he doesn't fight enough for me, Stormy. He's very
He's had some issues in his personal life, and he also
right.
came down with C-19 as well, and so that put some stuff on the put him on the shelf. But
Right, I didn't know that. I didn't know he had COVID.
Yeah, and I remember I just had John Scully on my Tuesday tussle a couple of weeks ago, and John Scully trains him. So
right, did you?
Yeah. It's on my front page too. If you go to my page, you can see my Tuesday tussle with John Scully interview I did with him, and it wasn't really an interview. It was just boxing conversation with two guys from a coaching's perspective. And John Scully's a great guy, man. He's a great guy.
Great to have someone on like that, isn't he, Stormy?
Yeah. So, but we talked about it, and we talked about Bitter Beef, man. Bitter Beef is one of the strongest men in the sport of boxing. Canelo don't want that. I'm telling you, he don't. And Bitter Beef has come down from heavyweight to fight at light heavyweight. FYI.
Right. Didn't know that.
Yeah, he competed in the amateurs at heavyweight.
Bloody hell, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting.
And he stays in shape because he's a Muslim. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know he's a Muslim.
He don't have a trouble making weight or any of that stuff. And I asked John Scully in the interview, what if Canelo comes calling? Because he might be looking, to have a name. John Scully was like, well, I'll let you go check out the interview. He tells you, it's like, but the thing is, they ain't running from no damn Canelo Alvarez. You can believe.
Oh, I know, yeah. I read a little. I read a quote what he'd put on a website today. Well, a website I put a quote on from an interview what he had done a few days ago, and he was on Facebook, and he was saying it's only a few lines, but he said, if Canelo wants to make that fight with me, no problem. We can make that fight. All you've got to do is ring me, and I'll give you a positive answer straight away. Most put, sorry, I'm sorry, but from what I've seen in Batavia's last fight, Canelo beats him too. You see, what's getting me, Stormy, is his inactivity and his age. That's what's getting me. But I didn't know he'd had COVID and all that, so obviously that's going to play a big part.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with you. He's strong. He's got a bit of a suspect chin because remember when Callum Johnson put him down. But to be fair, when Callum Johnson put him down, he didn't hurt him. He basically went down, rolled over, and got straight back up. He was that quick. He was like,
right.
It wasn't a knockdown. I think it was a whether he got caught off balance. It was like a flash knockdown. But the thing is, though, Callum Johnson can fucking hit as well. That he's no fucking, I know Batav stopped him in the end, but Callum Johnson can. He's a big puncher himself. So credit to Batav, what's put. He reminds me of Khabib. Yeah, he fucking looks like Khabib as well. Is he? What is he? Is he Chechen or is he full Russian?
I think he's Russian. Scully says what he is. I think he's full Russian. I really believe that.
Yeah, because I know he's a Muslim, but he reminds me of one of them Chechens. Chechens are right next to Russia, weren't they? They were under the Russian rule, but they want to break away. But yeah, he's a tough mofo. It's a good fight, that. Right, Stormy, I'm gonna have to disappear, bro.
Okay. You see? Yeah, you disappear sometimes and forget to come back, man.
I slip back into under that rock, into that crack in the wall. Now I'm going to be doing more things, Stormy. I need to boost this channel, man. I'm going to be doing more things. I need to start going around the internet again. I think what it was with me, Stormy, because at one time I was in and out of that many fucking channels. I don't know. It's like anything in life. I got bored of it. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've always still salute to you, Mo. Much appreciation to you, bro. Have a good rest of your weekend. And thanks for being here, brother. That's really appreciated. And have a good night, Mo. I think what it is, Stormy, I think it's like anything in life. And sometimes things get a bit stale and they get a bit boring. But I'm definitely gonna be going around the channels again, mate. I've always, and the thing with me, Stormy, I always watch a lot of channels, but just of lately, over the last few months, I don't comment, but I always smash the like button, and I always watch them if I'm up. There's many a
Yeah.
time, bro, like your Tuesday Chussle. Like I said to you the other night, I was watching your call-in show on Joe Joyce. I smashed the like. And I didn't comment, but I watched it, and I watched the full show. It was a fantastic show. Love your call-in shows. They've been a great success, I think. They
Yeah,
have.
the call-in shows have been great, man. Getting a lot of positive feedback about them, and support from the people who come out. That's been very great. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your third one, what you've done now, Stormy?
Tomorrow will be the third one.
Yeah. I seen that scheduled, actually, to tell a lie. I did see that scheduled for tomorrow. I think it comes on at 4:30 over here.
Yeah, that's 10:30 my time, 10:30 a.m. my time. But
But
yeah, and that was just something that I came up with to just have another opportunity to talk boxing with people, and
You've always been very creative, though, Stormy. You've always been very creative because if anyone who's ever followed you will know that your channels you've never gone down one straight line. You've always gone from there to there to it. You always try your hands at different things, and I'm a big believer, Stormy. I think that's the best way to a successful channel because you're always thinking of different things to draw the audience in and do things for your subs. Do you know what I'm trying to say, bro?
yeah, I got you. And
Mm.
yeah, I do, and I still do my kung fu things,
Exactly, that's what I mean. You dine
and
and dash and dinner, dine, whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
dine and dish, yeah.
Mm.
And I've been, doing so much boxing content as of late. I haven't had a chance to do a dine and dish in months.
Mm.
So I'll have to do one of those
Yeah.
soon and revisit that. But again, I stay on that creative end, man. I try to do things, and I don't copy nobody. It's like
Oh, I
everything
know
I
you
do
don't.
is like fresh,
I know you don't. I watch you with your stream, Stormy, with you, because you like to use oh god, what's it called? Oh,
OBS.
OBS, yeah. I
Yeah.
downloaded that, Stormy, and I tried it, but mate, I'm so fucking limited to this technology shit, Stormy. I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing with it. Mickey Dubs puts Loz, salute to you, mate. And remember, Pacquiao and Spence 8 tonight, mate. Oh, salute to you, Mick. Much love and appreciation, bro. Have a good weekend. Good guy, man, Mickey Dub.
Yeah.
Salute to you, brother. Yeah, that's what I mean. Stormy, I watch you, bro. I know that. I've been one of your longest followers, so like you have with me, you've been with me a long time, Stormy. Three
Yeah,
years
and
now.
remember I told you you were one of the ones, you and Legendary Top Cats were like, "Yo, Stormy, when you gonna put some content up, man? We're waiting," because like when I made that first video, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm gonna throw my hat in the arena and start doing some content," and then
Yes,
I
you
think like a month went by, and you guys was tired of waiting. You was like, "Hey, Stormy, what's up with the content? When you gonna put something?"
yeah.
I was like,
Flip
"Oh snap! I got people waiting on me out here. Now I got to go out on stage."
I remember your very first video, Stormy. You were
Yeah,
sat in the chair like
Yeah.
in the snug or something. And I remember seeing a few books or something at the side of you. I remember
Yeah.
you did. I remember your first video like yesterday. But yeah.
And I've come a long way, man,
Oh
because
god damn
you
you off,
know,
yeah.
I've been teaching myself a lot of stuff to do on the computer. It's just like I do a lot of my, my video content. I do it on my tablet, right? But yesterday, for the first time, I did a video about Canelo Alvarez on my laptop. And everything was fine. I was ready to upload it. And then I found out that I had an echo while I was talking. So I had to go back and do the audio over. But everything takes, and I teach myself all these things. I don't have nobody to show me anything, so I have to learn everything on my own,
I know that, bro. I know that. That's why I've tried. That's why I'm saying to you, Stormy. I've tried that OBS shit, man. I downloaded the whole lot of it, and I got the studio up and all that. And Stormy, I didn't even know where I begin, mate. I was like that, scratching.
Well, you know what? We could talk.
Doing?
We could talk behind the scenes, and I can help you with some of the things on the OBS because I'm very accustomed to it now.
Yeah, you are not. Yeah,
but there's so much you can do, man. And StreamYard is just basically for like being like we were on Hangouts, like we on here. But StreamYard is limited as opposed to OBS. OBS can do so many different things. And when you start uploading content in your OBS where you have images or you have video clips or something like that, man, you could make them fill a screen, you could shrink them down, you could do stuff. And if you're using green screen, you could do a lot with green screen and everything, because I got several kinds of backdrops that I use and stuff for my shows, so I'm always doing something on there, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's just like, look here, I can show you. You see here? Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Stormy.
That's tight, ain't it?
I can't do that shit, man. I've got boring brown curtains and a boring wall.
Yeah, man. You get you a green screen, man. You could be like you sitting out there on the lakefront or something, bro. If you want, you know what I mean? Have some women playing volleyball in the background.
That's quality. Hey, man, and it's crystal clear as well. That is, Stormy.
Yeah,
that is crystal clear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can adjust my lighting in here and everything and make it look like,
Yeah.
It look like I'm sitting right there, don't it?
Yeah, gone darker. You look like a boxing commentator just ready for someone to come and step up in the ring.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Right, Stormy, brother, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so glad you come through, man, because it's been so long since I've chopped it up with you.
I know, man. I know. I'm glad you were on today, man. We got some fights on Fox tonight. Some heavyweights. Michael Coffey.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, Kofi's fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's tonight. It's supposed to be 3 cards on the Fox, and FS1 is supposed to have some undercard matches, but I have to find out which FS1 is going to be. Is FS1 or FS2? I don't know. I got to find it.
Salute to you, Brown Unboxing. Salute, bro. Yeah, well, I've got a chip fire stick, so I can get all them. Me, Fox.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, so I can get all of them. Stormy, have a great weekend, mate, and I will definitely be on your in your chat tomorrow, brother, when you do that call-in show. And
okay, man, sounds good, bro.
Stormy, if you can do, because for me, I've called in before on KQ's call-in, but I put the number in and I can't get through. I need the US code number because for me to ring over there, I need the US number, and then obviously I need the code number and your number, which is the number what you put against the bottom of the screen. But I need the US code, the US number first to put in front of you, if you get what I mean.
Oh yeah, I have to find out what that is because I don't know that, and
Right.
I'm thank you for telling me because I didn't think about that part. But whatever the U.S. code number is, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta find out what that is.
Yeah. And if you do, brother, send it to me and I'll ring in. Because
Yeah,
when I ring in, like on KQT, it just goes beep. There's nothing there because I don't know the US number. DT,
right.
salute to you, brother. You're a good brother. You're always coming through. He's put peace, Lost D, and Stormy B, man.
Yeah, salute DT, salute. Yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow, Stormy, in your chat.
Okay, man.
Most definite.
And
Peace
thanks
to
for having
everyone.
me on, man. Thanks for
You're
having me.
welcome. Anytime, OG.
All right.
Anytime. Peace to
Peace
everyone
out.
in the chat. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend.
All
I'm
right.
out. Peace.
Peace.